Hey guys, kinggath here with another patch for Sim Settlements 2. This is patch 3.5.2, which I'm calling Better Late. And my apologies for my nasally voice. I am coming off of a head cold. I have gone a record 8 months without one, which feels pretty awesome. So it was bound to happen in the crazy weather that we've been having up and down on these temperatures. I'm sure many of you are in the same boat. All right, before we get into the patch notes today, I want to thank our patrons who are keeping the lights on around here, covering the many software as a service costs for our website hosting, email, forums, all that stuff adds up, and these guys are helping cover the cost of that. So huge shout out and thanks to Radonius, Kevin Jackie, Joel Rosenbaum, Wicked Gaming, Brian Wallace, and Red Suspense. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support on this. And for those of you guys who signed up recently, if you didn't hear your name called out, I will get to you in an upcoming video. All right, now one more thing before we get into the patch notes. Now, I had been hoping we would have a patch for Fallout 4 by now, and those of you guys on Xbox and PlayStation have been waiting doubly so, hoping that we would get one in January. That's part of the delay. I'd been kind of holding out to see if a new patch came out, because that could influence the direction I go with our patches, particularly with Workshop Framework, which, yes, there is a Workshop Framework patch today, very minor, but definitely grab that latest version. Now, I'm bringing up Workshop Framework and talk about the patches because many of you guys have been asking me about the Workshop Framework DLL, which does a couple of things. One is it automatically fixes power grid corruption issues for people using the script extender, and it allows for exporting of your layouts, both very important things for a lot of players. And until Bethesda gets the next patch out, because we know there's got to be at least one more to fix these major issues for Xbox and PlayStation, we are holding out on that. So I'm just reminding folks, if you are still on the old gen of Fallout 4, we do have those old gen files which still include the DLL available on Workshop Framework on the optional files, and those are updated as well with our new script changes in this version of Workshop Framework. So just a reminder on that. So after that patch that we know is coming at some point from Bethesda, after that comes out, Workshop Framework, we'll get another update sometime after that. Will depend on when we can make the time to get it updated, because we actually have to analyze the changes to the exe and everything to make that new version. So that is on the docket, but we are kind of at Bethesda's mercy here. All right, let's get into the patch notes for SS2. So I have a few things that I will call out, but mostly these patches over the last year have been bug fixes, and they're going to continue to be so because there's a lot of stuff to fix in SS2. We made a big old thing, and I got a lot of tech debt to solve. So a couple of things I will point out in here, and then you'll want to check the patch notes for other things. One of them is that the Ron can now allow you to take 3 leads at a time. So previously, you would purchase a lead from him, you would have to pursue it, get that settler recruited, or at least meet them, depending on the type of settler it was, before he would offer you another one. Now he will do 3 at a time. I don't remember who suggested that during one of my streams, but it seemed like a great quality of life improvement. And for those of you who ended up in the situation like I did in my Let's Play, which is that the game corrupted one of the NPCs and they weren't reacting correctly, so I couldn't recruit anyone from the run. So if you end up in a weird save state like that, this will also help you with that problem. And another big change I made that I think will make things a little more comfortable for most of you is the assignment requirements. So there is a setting that most of you have probably never looked at, and it basically made it so that when you got to the advanced and high-tech classes of municipal for the water and power and agricultural, I guess agricultural is not municipal, but you get my point. When you got to those 3 production types, when you unlocked the advanced and high-tech classes, you may have not known that there was a requirement that your settler had a certain stat. And that's because it's not very clear in the UI when you're going to assign people. Sometimes those buildings would just appear not to be selectable, and that was because the settler already assigned to that plot didn't meet those stat requirements. That setting is no longer on by default unless you choose the hardcore wizard options, or if you turn the option on yourself. Otherwise it will be off for new saves. So obviously any existing saves, this assignment requirements would have been on for most players unless they chose the easy mode wizard setting. Otherwise they would have had this setting on, and like I said, it was one of those ones that was not very clear in the UI when you're actually going to assign people or select building plans. It wasn't stated anywhere that that was going to be a limitation, so it made it very confusing. And even myself, I would catch myself getting confused by it all the time while playing in my weekly Let's Play. So decided that it would make sense that that would become a hardcore option, because I still like that as a requirement, but because it's kind of masked, it is not good user experience. So can't be on for those of us who are just casually playing the mod. All right, that about covers all of the stuff I wanted to point out. Again, check the patch notes if you're looking for a particular fix, and definitely keep reporting issues on our forums if you have things that you're ready to fix. I am still actively working on SS2. Will be for many years as far as I can tell, because we got a lot of stuff to fix up. That's it. So if you made it this far, you guys know what I like to do. We're going to give out some merch. So I'm going to give you guys a hashtag if you comment on the video with something to read. So give me a funny story. Give me a bug report. Give me something you like about SimSettlement, something you hate about it. Anything you like, but just something interesting to read. And your hashtag for this patch is then never. And we'll go through those, pull somebody, and get in touch with you next week, and we'll shoot you over a gift code to simsettlements.threadless.com where you can pick up some free merch. All right, guys, that does it for me. Take care and enjoy the mods.